difficult time, and we have to look at these two separate incidents as they are. They are separate regarding police action and or interaction. Regarding the shooting of Mr. Blake, again, there's a lot that we still don't know. I know there's a lot that I still don't know. We haven't gotten all the information yet from the investigators. As we're hearing, he may have had a knife, he may not have had a knife. But I tell you, I think that one of the main things that we're trained to do in policing is to protect the safety of not just those people within the community, but also those that we have to interact with, and that would be Mr. Blake in this circumstance. Those three officers, in my opinion, from what I've been able to see so far, should have done what they were trained to keep him subdued and to not let him get around the car and have access to that car again. The shooting of him in the back, they had an opportunity to back off. The shooting of him in the back was completely unwarranted. Regarding the protest, this is another difficult task for police because we have to give protesters the platform to peacefully protest. Mm-hmm. We have to give them that. It's their First Amendment right. But we also have to protect the community, right, from property damage and from harm, from people from harm. There was a curfew in effect. But here's the thing. They were going after the protesters to get them off the streets after the curfew. But what about this individual who allegedly shot these two and killed these two, who walked right up to them with a long gun strapped to his person? But they allowed him to walk right by, and there's so much more regarding what we've seen in video regarding those officers on the scene giving the appearance of to wanting and to actually being very appreciative of having armed civilians on the scene in Kenosha after curfew.
And I want to ask you about that because you said that the incidents should be judged separately, and I agree with that, but it's difficult to when you look at how these same police dealt with Jacob Blake, and then there's this video that shows Kenosha police, giving out water bottles, tossing one to the alleged shooter, Kyle Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old with a gun, not from Kenosha, not even from the same state, from Illinois. And a lot of people are having a difficult time juxtaposing these two and saying, well, this is clearly equal treatment under the law when you see a 17-year-old with a gun being given water. Yeah.
Right. So, Jake, when I say separately, I mean investigation-wise.
Oh, no, right? I understand, but what do you make of that?
Investigation-wise. But when it comes to, this is one of the problems that we're having in our communities regarding police and community, is the difference in treatment of blacks versus white. So, again, looking at whether it's Mr. Blake, whether it's George Floyd, and many others who lost their lives at the hands of the police. And then you see situations like this, with this young white male during an obvious time of unrest, during a curfew, when the police are responding to a shooting, and they see someone who has a gun, but who happens to be white. But we also have to look at what happened before regarding the interaction of the police and these armed white individuals in Kenosha that night, right? Again, condoning them being there, not giving them orders to go home, to get out of Kenosha. You're violating curfew. So there is an obvious difference in treatment between whites and blacks as we look at the past couple of days here, just in Kenosha. But we've got decades of this indifference in treatment, disparity in treatment, to the point where blacks are dying at high rates proportionally to unarmed whites in this country.
Yeah. Niell Franklin, thank you so much for your voice and for your expertise. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jake.
Coming up next.